Spring has sprung St. Louis and the red carpet has been rolled out. You're looking for a story of renewal and rebirth and new life? We got one for you, and it's coming to a theater near you.
It's a beautiful day, don't you know? It's a beautiful day.
This is The Thread.
No, he's not. We got you.
Hey, boys! Get off the ice! Not safe!
You're not going anywhere. Stop.
Hey guys, we're on the red carpet for the premiere, the St. Louis premiere of Breakthrough, and we've got some of the principals coming in right now. Pastor Jason Noble joining us. What is up, my man?
Not much. How you doing?
Good to see you.
Good to see you too.
It's coming to fruition. What do you think?
I love it. It's just so exciting to see what God's doing. It's exciting to see what God's doing with the movie across the country, and we're so excited to be in St. Louis tonight.
What do you hope the audience takes away from this?
I hope people walk away with so much hope that they can look at John and say, if God can do it for John, he can do it for me. And I think the world needs hope so desperately tonight.
Well, man, enjoy the evening.
Thank you so much.
Thanks,
Appreciate
Pastor.
it. Yep,
Good
definitely.
to see you. You may be wondering what we're talking about. You may remember last year we did a story when the book was released about John's story, The Impossible. Little refresher course. Here you go.
We were just being normal teenagers. We were on the ice the night before and we went back.
It's that telephone call you never want to get as a parent. She said the kids were down playing on the ice, they fell in and they just pulled John out of the water. But at this point in time, he was dead. He'd been under the water for over 15 minutes.
I got the call after John was airlifted to Cardinal Glennon.
The first thing I did was I went to prayer because I knew that I needed God right now. And we're at an hour right now that John has been without oxygen, without a heartbeat. And I said, Holy Spirit, please come and give me back my son. And I prayed that prayer, and within moments of that time, there was a heartbeat. When I heard that they had a pulse, the work was done.
The doctors are saying he is brain dead. Joyce said, you know what, we're speaking life. We're gonna believe that God can do the impossible. There were two things. One, his lungs, that God needed to just fill his lungs with his breath. And then second, that God would recreate his brain. So we started praying. John overbreathed his respirator and he opened his eyes and kind of his shoulders came off the mat. Over his head, I saw a million colors. I mean, like literally a rainbow of colors coming down. I knew at that moment, I walked out and told Joyce, he's gonna be fine.
But I was just opening my eyes and kind of freaked out, like, where am I, what happened?
Dr. Garrett came in and he told John, he said, John, do you understand what a miracle is? And John shook his head, yes. He goes, you're a miracle. You're a bona fide miracle. It has pushed me to the point of wanting to just scream this from the mountaintops. Hey, listen, folks, your life isn't impossible. There's nothing going on in your life that God can't change and that he can't turn around. He's a God of restoration.
One of the questions we get is, well, what if John would have died? Would have you still had the same kind of faith? And to me, Lazarus, who was healed in the Bible, he's not still around. A miracle is temporary. And so ultimate, we have to be okay with God taking people home too, and that's where they get their healing.
First, I didn't want anything to do with it. But God brought Pastor Jason in my life for a reason, and he brought me back to life for a reason. You know, I still don't have all the answers today, but I'm seeking and reading the Bible to kind of find out how can I help others through my story.
Speaking of John, here he is, man. Congratulations on it finally coming to fruition. How's it feel to have the movie finally coming out?
Oh, you know, it's an honor to be here. It's an honor to bring the story back home and to, you know, see how everyone else is going to react.
What are you hoping the audience takes away from this film?
I want them to know that when they walk out of the theater, that there's something sparks inside of them. Something sparks inside of them that triggers the question of what is this Holy Spirit word they say? What is this Jesus word they say? What is this Christ word? And I want them to walk out going, I felt something, like I had goosebumps. What is this? I need to research this more. And eventually, hopefully, you know, they'll find a church, they'll find what's going on, and, you know, they'll be drawn to the Lord.
Well, if my viewing was any indication, I think those goosebumps are coming. Great, they did a great job with the movie. Yes. Man, enjoy the night.
Thank you.
You bet.
Thank you.
I want to tell you about another organization in town that's making sure young ladies look their best for their prom so they have the best experience possible. It's called So St. Louis, and they're on a mission.
We are wanting to give back to the community in a way where we are donating hair extensions as well as funding nail services as well as makeup services for young ladies who can't afford prom expenses this year. Not being able to afford something like prom, which is like a tradition, you know, it affects your self-esteem, and I think just by us taking this one step will drastically increase self-esteem and can lead to better behavior down the line. We won't be able to help everybody, but hopefully if the community will get involved and they will rally behind this initiative, we can definitely help a large number of girls. So the easiest way to donate is to go on our website. There will be a tab on our homepage. Just click on that, just give what you can. By doing this, I want to, number one, show them like, hey, there is somebody who cares about you. And then in the midst of doing it, maybe I could, you know, whisper a few words of inspiration and encouragement, you know, along the way.
Everybody's looking red carpet ready for tonight, including Marcel, man.
Thank you.
John Smith, man, you're looking sharp.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
What did it mean for you to take on this role, to play John Smith?
It was an amazing experience, especially because me and John, we have so much, like, we're alike in real life. Being able to tell that story and this amazing story, get it out there into the world is really exciting. This movie shows you that miracles are real, that you have a purpose in life, and that there's always someone there that cares about you.
Speaking of dressed to the nines, looking their best, Chrissy Metz joining us right now. You look great.
Well, thank you. It takes a village. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Well, you know, I'm new to this red carpet thing. Am I supposed to ask, who are you wearing?
No, you ask whatever you want.
Okay, good. I can move on. Tell me what it means for you to finally see this film come to fruition.
Oh, wow. There's so many emotions welling up for me. And as we went to the ceremony for, you know, the breakthrough day, it's, and, you know, just being with John and Joyce and Jason, it's so overwhelming. It's like, it's their life.
What do you hope the audience takes away from this film?
Ooh, I hope that they take away how important they are and how purposeful every single person on this planet is. The sense of community and the importance of communing together, that we're here for each other to learn, to teach, to grow. And, you know, we're just so much stronger and better together than we are apart.
We talk about God working through people. Mm-hmm. That one scene at the end of the movie in the church, all these people standing up, and you see all the people used in the process.
Yeah.
How powerful of a scene was that for you?
I mean, I'm welling up thinking about it, so very powerful. You know, if it wasn't for the doctors and the EMTs and the first responders, I don't know if we would be here. And these people sacrifice their lives. You know, I go to a set and I pretend to be someone. It's so honorable and commendable, and it's overwhelming. Yeah.
Well, enjoy the night.
Thank you, you too.
You bet.
Thank you.
You bet. Good to see you again.
You too.
It is a powerful film, guys, and if you don't know the whole story, here's a little bit more background of the tapestry of miracles that went into the impossible and now breakthrough.
I called him and not knowing that he was on the ice.
My family always ends phone calls with "I love you," and she said "I love you," and I said "I love you too." And then when I hung up, about 3 seconds later, I fall in.
That lake is pretty much 50 feet deep and a muddy bottom. He went down in the one area that was 10 feet deep with a rocky bottom.
But at this point in time, he was dead. He'd been under the water for over 15 minutes, lifeless. He had icicles on him, and he was gray and just nothing. And so Dr. Garrett, who just happened to be the, you know, leading person in the area on hypothermia and drowning, was the one that examined John.
And he wasn't even supposed to be there that day.
He said, John has no brain activity. His lungs are not working properly. His heartbeat cannot be sustained without life support. I said, what you just said to me, this will not be spoken in my son's room. Nothing negative will be like this. If you have this to say, you take it outside because my son is going to live. And I walked out of the room. That was our battle plan, and that's what we stood on, you know, that God can do the impossible. Over the next 16 days, we sat and watched God do miraculous things in John's body.
We prayed for his lungs. I turned around and I saw 2 angels in the room that were literally floor to ceiling. You could see their face. They had a shield, they had a sword. If you live in the Midwest, your lungs would never be sterile. All the stuff we breathe, the pesticides, I mean, all of that. And they just go, you would not believe this. John's lungs are completely sterile.
I mean, God had just totally healed his lungs. And 7 days later, we walked out of the hospital, literally, not in a wheelchair. John walked out of the hospital totally healed.
One of the things the doctors would go on to say, Dr. Garrett, we cannot find another case like John's. There's no way to explain it. There's no way to replicate it. It's a complete miracle.
This world needs hope. This world needs a little bit of peace. And that story right there is proving that God is still alive and God is in the miracle working business. And he brought me back to life for a reason.
Why does America and the world in general need a movie like this?
Oh my gosh, don't we need hope right now? I really feel that we're in a situation where people feel so isolated and so alone. I hope that people come to see this movie either with people that they know or in a theater where they can get to know the people that are surrounding them, because this ultimately really is about the power of community, about the power of prayer, about the power of love.
No. Please, God, send your Holy Spirit to save my son.
Our first mission is to bring glory to God. That's why we're here. We have a talent, just happens to be banking.
So M1 Bank is banking on a mission fueled by the power of purpose.
It gets a point in your life where you got to live it every day, not just believe it.
I'm believing that this is going to catch on and we're all going to thread up.
For us in our house, this is how we're going to serve the Lord and His purpose. And we're going to do it through the financial institution that happens to be called M1 Bank.
Do you know someone who is committed to changing lives in your community? Well, don't keep it a secret. Tell us about it. We're always looking for story ideas from all around the area, and you can help us find them. If you know of a neighbor or a good Samaritan devoting their time and talents to helping others, then go to our website and send us an email to sowhat@thethreadstl.com. You can also contact us on our Facebook page, and you just might see it on the thread because we love sharing the good news happening all around our town.
Did you know that pet waste causes water pollution problems for our entire community? Pet waste is a large source of pathogens to our water and contains disease-causing viruses and bacteria that are harmful to humans and other animals. And when left on the ground, those viruses and bacteria spread with rainwater, polluting our local waterways. Proper disposal is critical. Always pick up after your pet, putting the waste in the trash. Do your part to keep our sewers and waterways free of pet waste contamination. Find out more at stlmsd.com.
It's hard to believe we're in season 3 of The Thread, considering that in the beginning, Virginia and I knew next to nothing about owning a show or running a nonprofit. Circle of Advisors Securus has been a part of the Thread Circle of Advisors since day one, walking alongside us as we walk out this new journey that God has called us to. And if they can help a couple of hot messes like me in Virginia, they can certainly help you too.
Tim, we've been proud to walk alongside of the Thread, and we'd be honored to walk alongside of you too.
We're not gonna get through this alone. Whatever you have for me, for Brian, for John, I surrender.
Oh, it's a powerful, powerful movie. It's called Breakthrough, and we're on the red carpet, and look who it is right now. It is the prayer warrior herself, Joyce Smith. So good to see you. I know you. What does this feel like? It's finally come to fruition. The movie's coming.
I said it before, surreal. I mean, never in my life did I ever dream that I'd be doing something like this. But it's for a good cause. It's for God. Give Him all the glory.
What do you hope the audience takes away from this?
That there's always hope. That God always has a final word, no matter what.
What does it feel like to have that premiere taking place right here in your own backyard?
You know, I hope the youth here in this town pick up on the message here. I think they're looking for the supernatural, and it's real. And I really hope they take away from that message that God is who He says He is.
How does it feel to see yourself portrayed on the big screen?
It's kind of different, but they couldn't have got a better person to do it. Chrissy is awesome. She is tremendous. And I'm very proud that they chose her to do that.
Well, you enjoy your evening.
Thank you.
So good to see you.
Good to see you too.
You bet.
Thank you, Tim.
You bet. That's Joyce Smith, and she mentioned the cast. Well, Chrissy did an amazing job, and she mentioned what it felt like to see herself portrayed on the screen. Here's hearing from those who portrayed her on the screen. When you heard this story, read the story, what about it made you say, I want to be a part of this?
I actually went for a general meeting with Devon and the executives, and so I didn't even know what we were talking about. I thought we were just sort of chit-chatting, getting to know one another. When I got to talking about my backstory and my mother, and she had recently gone through a stroke at that moment. It was probably 3 or 4 months prior, and I shared with them that, we just didn't have any we had no luxury for negative thought, and that my mom came through the stroke on the other side and it was really a miracle. And they were like, really? You know almost verbatim what you said to your mother's doctors, Joyce said to John's doctors. And I said, no, I had no idea.
I don't want anybody saying anything negative about his prognosis. We will all speak life over John.
There's so many reasons why I wanted to be a part of it, and aside from it being just one of the most incredible stories I've ever heard.
It just shows, what happened. This really happened. And so whether you're a skeptic or a believer, I think we all have moments when we doubt and we only trust in what we see. And I think that this movie really highlights that sometimes we shouldn't do that.
Joyce is unwavering in her love and her devotion and her advocacy for her son, and that to me is so inspiring. We're human beings, so we're not perfect. So she's helped me to be more consistent in my thoughts and my prayers.
Now that with making the movie and the book, millions of people, so that one prayer, think about how much faith is going to be added to the world because of her faith.
I don't believe John will survive the night.
You don't know my son. He is a fighter. So I need you to be the best for John, and you just let God do the rest.
Hey gang, I got some questions. We're on red carpet. That means it's time for the hot seat, brought to you by Art Van Furniture. We got Chrissy in the hot seat, Devon, Jason helping her out. Y'all ready to go?
We're ready.
All right, the clock is gonna start when I ask the first question. The category is Hollywood, Bollywood, or St. Louis.
Okay.
All the answers are Hollywood, Bollywood, or St. Louis. You
Okay.
ready?
My heart is beating. Okay.
Okay.
Pass.
Question number one. This city is often referred to as Tinseltown.
Hollywood.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. Woo! This city is home to silver screen stars such as Vincent Price, Kevin Kline, John Goodman, and John Hamm.
St. Louis.
Yeah, absolutely. This is the movie capital of India.
Bollywood.
Yeah, absolutely. This city has a Walk of Fame.
Hollywood. St. Louis. And Bollywood.
Yeah. Well done. This place is home of Man's Chinese Theater, Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles,
Hollywood.
and now the Rams.
Hollywood.
Yeah. All right, and last question. The movie premiere for this major motion picture breakthrough is taking place in this city on March 20th. It is what city?
20th? St. Louis.
Yes, St.
I was like, the 17th is
Louis.
Hollywood. Okay.
Right.
Shoo, I started sweating.
Today is the
You got it right.
Oh, today's the 20th. I don't even know what day it is.
It's been a long road.
How did I not get that
Okay.
one? And I'm here.
It's okay. Can I tell you a secret? You just survived the hot seat.
Thank you.
Brought to you by Art Van Furniture.
You're welcome.
Today at the Art Van Furniture and Mattress Spring Preview Sale. The new spring collection is here, and you'll find new arrivals every day. Save up to 65% off sofas, sectionals, bedrooms, home accessories, and more. And right now, take an extra 20% off the lowest price with interest-free financing for 20 months. Today at the Art Van Furniture and Mattress Spring Preview Sale.
Hey, Threadheads, thanks for joining us this morning. Are you picking up on a theme here? We're like bringing joy, creating community, transforming lives. That's what this show is all about. We are so much stronger when we come together than we ever are when we separate and divide. We want to continue this mission. We want to help this city thread up and be the most it can be. So, you want to be a part of the team? You want to help us on that mission? Go to thethreadstl.com and learn how you can be a threadhead and help us thread up, y'all. Hey, Threadheads, you no doubt know Don Brown.
Don Brown Chevrolet. Don Brown Chevrolet. Don Brown Chevrolet.
And you probably know that Don has a flair for fashion and a knack for cars, but he also has a heart for people.
I learned from my father a long time ago, it's not about one person, it's about the entire community. It is a car business, but it's a people business. It's about the people. It's not about the products, it's about the people.
If you're in the market for a car, come to Don Brown, where it's people over process.
And we're proud to be part of the Thread family, and we'd love to be part of your family.
What? Our time's almost up together already? You mean I gotta wait till next Saturday? That's way too long. We gotta catch up during the week. I got a great idea. Hey, why don't you follow us on social media? Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We've got content that doesn't actually fit on our 30-minute show, right? And we're adding new messages all the time. So follow us, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. It's our way to keep up with you throughout the week. And we can thread up all week long. Follow us, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. See you soon. It is a powerful, powerful film, and the man who helped make it come to the big screen, it's Devon Franklin. Thank you so much for joining us, man.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
Hey, what does it feel like to finally have it come to fruition?
You know, it feels like a dream come true and overwhelming at the same time. And here we are, you know, the actors and the real life people coming together. I mean, I don't even know how to describe how I feel.
Why does the world need a movie like this right now?
Because we need hope. I think too often we allow our differences to be an excuse not to reach out to one another. And I think this movie says, doesn't matter if we're different, doesn't matter if we think differently, we can still pray with one another, we can still love one another, and we can still come together as a community.
When you look around here, look at all these people that are here, this huge scene.
Yeah.
Yes, it's a celebration of a movie, but how much do you see this as a celebration of God and the power?
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, it's 1,000%. This right here is proof that faith works, that God is real, without a doubt, and that prayer absolutely works as well. And so this is an answer to my prayers. It's an act of faith and God's divine love.
So thankful for you, brother. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Enjoy the evening.
Appreciate you.
It is a powerful film, guys, and we want to know what you think. So we talked to a few of you.
Because I know the story, probably was crying the entire movie.
I loved it, and I was like sitting on my edge of my seat.
I was actually the nurse there that when he woke up. I've been there for about 27 years now, and it's probably the most amazing miracle that we could have seen.
It is an excellent depiction of Christ working in somebody's life.
I think my favorite part was when they were singing outside the hospital, when all of his friends and all the community came together.
For me, it was Mom saying, you know, I give it up to God. I surrender.
It was amazing actually seeing what we experienced in real life on film. It was a true depiction of what it was and the true faith involved and the actual miracles that actually happened with it.
It really attests to when people come together and pray, miracles truly happen.
Yes, indeed, miracles happen. This is one of them. And this one happened right in our own backyard, right here in St. Louis. And yes, this is a movie, but it's not life imitating art. This is the arts taking on what really happened in life, in John's life, in the lives of everyone that was involved in this miracle. It happened. That's what Devon, the producer, said. He said, we just showed what happened. It all happened. And even more than the movie was able to show all the miracles that took place around it. Miracles absolutely happen. But do we explain them away here? We often do. I mean, miracles are temporary. I mean, even in the Bible we see that. And the miracles God performed through Moses to Pharaoh to release his people from Egypt, they were to show who God was. It wasn't just about the miracles. It wasn't to bring glory to Moses. It was to show who God was. Jesus' miracles. Sure, he fed a lot of folks with a few loaves of bread and a couple of fish, but they eventually got hungry again. He restored the sight to many blind folks, but they eventually died. Just like Lazarus, he raised Lazarus from the dead. He eventually passed away. Those were all signs pointing to who he was and what he was ultimately going to do on the cross. Jesus wasn't about his miracles. Those were just signs pointing to who he was and what he was going to do for us on the cross by laying down his life for us. I had a friend that went to Burkina Faso on a mission trip. And while I was there, he told me, he said, I saw New Testament stuff happening there. He said, and I asked one of the missionaries, and I'm like, why do we see these things here but not back in the United States? And he said, the people here expect to see miracles. Do we expect to see them here? Or do we lean into our own understanding and our own strength and explain them away? There's no explaining this one away. It happened. And miracles happen all around us. When we transitioned from the church to the Thread full-time, my wife broke out a list of 30 plus things that God did for us when we left Fox 2 and went to the church full-time. To show our children, look at the faithfulness of God. Look what he did for us in that transition. He was faithful then, he's gonna be faithful now. And these were things that only God could have done. What about the miracles in your own life? Have you forgotten about them? Have you entered into a new phase of life and a new trial and forgotten about those? We need to remember those stones of remembrance of when God was faithful to us, so we can look back to him and say, he was faithful then, he'll be faithful now, and he'll be faithful in the future. Miracles are happening, and not just to John. God, give me eyes to see what you see and feet to follow. That's the message. And that's the end, but not the end. You know what I'm talking about.
14-year-old male, unresponsive and pulseless.
Everyone clear?
No pulse.
There's nothing more we can do.
in my mind, in my medical opinion, he wasn't going to come back. And I just feel privileged that I was allowed to be in a situation where a person petitioned God and he changed his mind. God decided instead of this young man drowning, he's going to come back and he's going to be a witness to thousands or millions.
But I don't believe John will survive the night.
With the story had been told and everything we knew, we did not expect him to make it, but it's just a miracle that this could happen and that he could get back to be the fine young man that he was before.
He's been underwater for more than 15 minutes. It's going to be a recovery, not a rescue.
I thought it was a recovery. I thought we were going to be pulling up, a body, as we did pull up a body. The miracle happened about 30 minutes afterwards when Joyce started to pray.
In the water that day, I was ready to give up, but then I hear this voice telling me, come back. Either I'm nuts or God's talking to you. But I don't believe in God.
If you're not a believer, you have to believe. And if you don't want to own it and believe out loud, you can believe in yourself, because there's no way that you can't read, see, or hear the stories from the people that were there, the physicians, everybody. How do you not believe it's not a miracle?
There's simply no other explanation. Your son's a miracle.
Spot Media Production Group.